When Polo and I started working with PfSense, we put a video out there that shows how to create a custom DSM. And that was built on top of what Carlos G did, and it was a little bit cumbersome. There's a much easier way now. He created a content extension, kind of the same thing that you download from the App Exchange, that is a zip file you install easily. Same thing for the PfSense parser. Now, if you go to the video description of all my videos, you know that there is, you should know that there is a link to a public box folder where there are many things. Now there is a new subfolder called Polo PfSense content extension, and you'll find 3 files: the actual content extension, the hash to validate the download, and these instructions that we see here we find. So let's get started. So the first thing that Polo says that we should do is go into the PfSense console, services, DNS resolver, general settings, and copy and paste these parameters in there. So let's actually do that. So we go here under services. So that's services DNS resolver, and you should get into general settings. It's not, I believe that if you click on this icon, no, actually on this icon, you get to general settings. Okay, so you scroll all the way to the bottom, and I already did this. You paste the content that is on those instructions, you save it. It's going to ask you to apply the changes. You do that, wait a little bit, and you're done with the PfSense configuration for PfSense for DNS and DHCP. Speaking of DHCP, you should have DHCP enabled as well. So the next part of the instruction states that you should disable coalescing, so you get more events and you get the auto discovery to work for you. So let's actually go there under admin, system settings, go here under advanced, coalescing events, you say no, you say yes, and this requires deploy changes. So we're going to do that and going to post the video until that completes. Next, we need to install the content extension. That's actually pretty easy. We go under extension management, we point to wherever you downloaded that extension. I have it in here. Is that one. Click add and do install. This is on sign, meaning don't call IBM support. It's a work that Polo did as a contribution of him, but IBM support will not acknowledge this work. One thing is that if you install the DSM parser before, you don't need to install this content pack. This will enhance it if you already had it, and it should replace the stuff that you have put in there, but there's certainly not need to do that. As you see, there is a Luxor extension that's for the DSM editor piece, the PfSense, the QID. All this is part of the DSM editor, some constant extension properties, and we should see some searches that he added. Some regex, custom rule. He added one custom rule in here, and these are the 11 searches that Polo added for this. So we click install, pausing the video until that completes. We are done with that. We need to enable auto detection on the DSM editor, because this parser is not a generally available one out of the box from Curator. You need to at least in 7.3.3, I don't think that that's the case in 7.4. You need to go into the DSM editor and look for PfSense. Here it is. Select it. Go into configuration here. Turn that button on and click save. And that will enable auto detection for it. Now, there are separate videos that shows how you configure PfSense, but here on their services, on their DNS resolver, well, actually it's not over here, is on their diagnostic status system log. My apologies for scrambling to find the right place. You go here on their settings, and you need to make sure that you have selected firewall logs, DNS, and DHCP. This one you don't need it. This is for Squid. We will do a separate video on Squid later. You click here save, and that should be enough for the logs to begin to show up in Curator. And here we see them. They were auto-detected right away. That was easy. So on the PfSense log, you may see some unknown, and that is that the parser, there's room for improvement, particularly when it's the renew of the lease of the DHCP that is not being added to the parsing, so you may see an unknown, so don't get too concerned about it. Actually, I just saw one of them coming. When you look at it, it is this reuse lease. Okay, so Polo's instruction asks us to go into the asset database and look for assets name on host. I'm covering some of the machines that I have here at home, but you can see one of the Ring cameras that I have that is being discovered with the asset name. All that was parsed from the logs. Finally, remember that there were a bunch of searches that Polo put in here, like 10 of them. So if we click here on their search, edit search, because they have not been added to my quick view. So if you put here PfSense, you should find all of them. So let's look at, for example, this application detection. So what you need to do is load that search, and then you can perform the actual search. And if this is of any value, looks like I don't have any data just at this particular point, but you can click here on Save Criteria and save it and add it to my quick searches. From this point on, when you go on their quick searches, you should find your PfSense one, and here it is. Okay. And here's another example of the searches that Polo did. So again, a much easier way of adding the PfSense log into Curator. Thank you, Polo, for providing us this content pack, and he promised us another one, another video he wants me to create on how this package also covers web proxy as well, Squid.